Let's say you want to start a band. Maybe you even have an idea for a song melody. Let's say it goes something like this. How are you going to communicate that to your band members? I mean, sure, maybe if it's a couple of people, you can find a way to just show them, or even hum it. Da 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 da. And maybe they can figure it out. But let's say you're playing with, I don't know, an orchestra of 30 or more people. Let's say your band is going on tour, and every night you're going to be playing with a different vocalist. And each vocalist has a different range that they can hit, and so you need to change the music depending on the vocalist's range. How are you going to accomplish that? How are you going to just tell the 30 people in your orchestra, okay guys, tonight we need to play something different, but don't worry, I'll just hum it for you so you all know. It's challenges like this that over the years made musicians realize of the importance of having a standard notation, a way to just easily and quickly communicate a musical idea to a lot of people so that everyone ends up playing the same thing. Standard music notation signifies two components of the music: pitch and rhythm. Pitch is how high or low a note sounds. So, for lack of better description, a low note is a bass note, a high note is a treble note. That is a difference in pitch. Rhythm indicates the duration of each note. So, for example, is it sustained? Or is it short? You may already know that there are 7 letters in the musical alphabet, A through G. What's after G? It goes back to A. So if this is your starting note, let's say A1, this A is 1 octave higher than A1. So we call this A2. An octave simply means a group of 8 notes. In physics terms, this A2 is twice the frequency of A1. So, in other words, A2 is 2 times A1, or A2 has a 2-to-1 ratio with respect to A1. Here is what the interval of 1 octave sounds like. Note 1 and note 2. Okay, now you're looking at my computer screen, where you can see the melody I played for you earlier written out in standard music notation. Now, you might be wondering, how do I memorize the positions and the names of all of these notes? Okay, so this symbol here is called a treble clef, and it notates that this staff that you're seeing is going to be playing notes in a treble or upper register. The treble clef is also known as the G clef, and that's because this curl that happens at the end is centered around the second line on the staff. And that line is always where the note G is going to be depicted. So let's put a note on there. And as you can see, I've written in the pitch, the note name, which is a G, to make it easier to visualize. Every time you move up one line or one space on the staff, you move to the ascending note, or the next note in the musical alphabet. Likewise with descending notes. One way to memorize the notes on a treble staff is by picking reference points. We already know that this is going to be a G. Instead of memorizing every line in space, which you could do, one easier way is to pick reference notes. On a treble staff, for me, I like to choose one line below the staff. The addition of a line through a note head, such as this, suggests the imaginary addition of a sixth line right directly below the staff. This note here is a C as well, but this C is an octave above this C. So remember, we talked about an octave being a set of 8 notes. That would be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, the 8th note. That's one octave higher. This note here on top of the staff, this in the space on top of the staff, is a G octave above this. So if you memorize these, C, G, C, G, the rest you can figure out with reference to that. This is called a bass clef, also known as an F clef, instead of the G clef like the treble clef is. The F clef is so called because this dot right here tells you the position of the note F on the bass clef. That's an F. On a treble clef, that would be a D, but on a bass clef, that's an F. Likewise to the treble clef, we've picked some reference notes and figure out all the other notes from them. Here would be a C, one line above. This would be a C an octave lower, and this one space below is an F an octave lower. Okay, so now we have a note on each of the 5 lines ascending on the staff. Some people like to use a mnemonic device to memorize the notes on each of the ascending lines of the staff. One that I've heard is "Every good boy does fine." That will help you remember the notes that fall on each line of the staff. Likewise, if you put notes in ascending order in each space on the treble staff, you get F, A. Do you remember what this one is? That's one of our reference notes. It's a C, and that's an E, which spells face. So you have 2 devices to remember the positions of the notes on each of the lines of the staff and each space. Another good way to memorize the notes on the staff is to start by choosing 3 and playing them on your instrument along with memorizing them on the page. For guitar, I would recommend starting with these 3 notes. Let's hear what that sounds like. Next, I'd say move on to B, C, and D. And now you will have learned the first 3 notes on each of the 2 top strings. If you continue in this manner, eventually you will be able to play notes in the first position, that is the first 4 frets on all 6 strings. Now we're going to learn about rhythm. Again, rhythm is the duration of each note. It involves fractions. A note without a stem, just an open head, is called a whole note. This note gets 4 beats. We count 1 beat as just a unitless measure of time that's equivalent to, say, the beating of a heart. Anything with a steady, repetitive beat could be thought of as a beat in music. Da. A note with an open head and a stem is a half note. It gets 2 beats. Let's take a typical note. A typical note is made up of this bottom part, which is the head, and this upper part, which is the stem. This, the normal note, is a quarter note. Gets 1 beat. This, a note with a head, a stem, and a flag, is an eighth note, and it gets half a beat. In other words, half of a quarter note is an eighth note, and so on from there with a sixteenth note, which has 2 flags. Using these basic elements, you can create a lot of different rhythms. Let's look at a couple of them. 4 quarter notes. Da, 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 da. If these 4 notes were connected with a single connecting rod, they would each become eighth notes, and they would get half a beat each. So collectively, they would sound like da, 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 da. The addition of a second connecting rod makes these notes 16th notes, and it gets even faster. Da, 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 da. Eighth notes and 16th notes can be combined. Eighth and 2/16. This collectively gets 1 beat, but it sounds like da, da, da. Some people like to use words or phrases to remember this. Okay, so look at these 2 rhythms. Da, 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 bread pudding, da, da, da. Da, 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 cucumber, 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 bread pudding, cucumber, bread pudding, cucumber. Da 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 da. With a little bit of practice memorizing these notes, pretty soon you will be able to play melodies like the one I played for you at the beginning of this video. It's kind of catchy.